As you could well imagine, my community and police department and the family of Officer Clayton Townsend are grieving.
It sure is a tragic morning for Arizona. A Salt River police officer killed last night in the line of duty, and we have learned the cause of this crash even more tragic.
First, let's take you back to last night. Several officers escorting fallen Officer Townsend from the hospital to the medical examiner's office. It is an incredibly moving scene. The video of the procession honoring him late last night.
And this morning we know that officer's name, Clayton Townsend, was a husband and a father to a 10-month-old baby.
It was so tragic. He was hit by a driver last night on the Loop 101 during a traffic stop. Gibby is following the story. He has more on how the officer is remembered this morning. And Gibby, you're out every morning working shoulder to shoulder with law enforcement out on scenes. And I imagine that you can really feel what they're going through this morning. It's so painful for them all across the valley.
Yeah, and on this day that is a Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, guys, we just got this from DPS. We now know the name of that driver that hit and killed Officer Townsend. It is 40-year-old Jerry Sandstead of Scottsdale. He was arrested and booked into 4th Avenue Jail, and they were charging him with manslaughter and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and endangerment. According to DPS, they tell us that Sandstead tells them that he was actually texting when his car veered into the emergency lane and then struck both Officer Townsend and the car that he pulled over. They were both taken to the hospital, and that's where Officer Clayton Townsend was pronounced dead at the hospital. We also know now that the other driver of the car that was pulled over had non-life-threatening injuries. There was also some information from witnesses who said that that driver, Sandstead, was looking down when his car veered over 2 lanes. Now, at a presser last night, the chief of the Salt River Police Department talked about how caring and compassionate Officer Townsend was.
Officer Clayton was one of my most dedicated, loyal, and committed officers on my department. He was truly a guardian of the people.
Now, as we mentioned, guys, it is distracted driving is what they're saying now. He is booked now in county jail. Guys, as I mentioned earlier, you know, move over law here in Arizona, where when you see someone pulled over, you see those lights, whether it is, let's say, a tow truck or law enforcement, you are to move over to the next lane if you can safely do so. If not, you are to slow down as slow as you can. But now that we hear this updated information, just sad to know that it was texting that caused this deadly crash.
And to swerve 2 lanes.
Right.
Somebody was going to get hit.
Gibby, thank you.
Terrible.